Well, first of all, thank you for your time today as we are a week and change into a new year. And it's not too late to think about goals at the beginning of a year, whether you call them New Year's resolutions or just goals for 2022. When it comes to families getting on the same page, making it where the entire family is in on the process, what are some of the tips you have for mom and dad and kids to be thinking about?
Well, first off, let me say I think this is the perfect time to be doing this because it's the beginning of a new year. And whether you're 6 or 16, you understand that. And there's excitement around the new year. And I think the first step is kids really need to know why they need goals. And many kids don't. So sitting down with them and explaining to them how you spend your time. If you want to become physically more fit, then how much time do you spend in front of TV? And I think the second thing that kids need to understand, and adults too, is the goals have to be smart. They have to be specific, they have to be measurable, they have to be attainable, they have to be realistic, and they have to have a timeline attached to them. And then the third thing really is, how do you measure your progress? Because if you're thinking of a big goal, many adults will come into this office. I want to lose 50 pounds this year. That's a goal. Maybe you start with, in the first month, I want to lose 10 pounds. And how are you going to do that? Are you going to do that all through diet? Are you going to do that through exercise? So the third thing they really need to understand is how to break those goals down.
I know for a lot of kids, they learn by watching mom and dad. They learn by seeing what mom and dad are doing. And if you don't set that example, the kids aren't going to follow through. So how important is it for mom and dad to remember, hey, listen, whatever I do, my kids are going to follow, good or bad?
Absolutely. We all learn from the behavior that we see modeled. And I think it's great to see mom and dad struggle with hitting a goal, because we're all going to struggle at some point with hitting a goal. And I think it's great to be able to have conversation with mom and dad, like, well, I tried that and it's just not working. Okay, well, let's talk about what else you can do. There could be a whole learning experience attached with the goal setting.
You know, like I said, we're a week and change into a new year. We're not right at the beginning, but there is something I feel like that is the clean slate aspect of that first few weeks of January that mentally helps serve as a great launching point. And like you said, kids pick up on that as well.
They absolutely do. They've been out of school. If they're in school, they've been out of school some. So they've been focused more on relaxation and fun. And a lot of times parents are home more around the holidays. They save their vacation time to take. So it's a great time to just be in the right headspace. Setting goals, you've got to know what you want. And if you're so overwhelmed and if you're so busy and you're so rushed, a lot of times we can't say what we want.
Hmm. Obviously, I think for us adults, the pressure of New Year's resolutions, maintaining them, veering from the healthy into the unhealthy when it comes to, body image or the mental health around trying to set goals that we may or may not reach. You don't want that to filter down to your kids. You don't want this to be a pressure situation. You want it to be a positive experience. How do you try to make sure that that happens?
Well, that kind of goes back to, those goals have to be smart. They've got to be specific. They've got to, the measurable, the attainable, the realistic. And because if you can't measure something, then how do you know? How do you know if you achieved it or not? And I tell all my clients, if you don't know what you're looking for, you're never going to find it. You've got to know what you're looking for.
Or what's the inverse of that? If you aim for nothing, you'll definitely hit it.
You're on target with that.
Well, Lee, thank you so much for your time today. This is super helpful, and I really appreciate your expertise this new year.
My pleasure.